Welcome back to the Classic Urban Podcast. It's your boy, Baby Ice Cube, and I got my two guys with me.
George Georgopoulos.
And Phil Seaman.
There you are. All right, so obviously we had a tragedy in America the other day. Well, no, what was that, about a week ago exactly?
Yeah, about a week ago.
Unfortunately, it happened right after we recorded the last week's podcast because of just the timing we do it. But that kind of stuff happens sometimes. But the overall, I guess, idea of is that there was a huge shooting at the Las Vegas Country Music Festival. I don't remember what the name of the actual festival was.
Jason Aldean was playing.
Yeah. But basically a lone gunman known as Stephen Paddocks, is that his name? Yeah. Killed 59 people and injured more than 500 of them. Well, I guess some of the injuries aren't because, well, they're all because of him, but.
It's actually been updated. Because of confusion in the hospitals, original numbers topped at like 518, 520. It's actually dropped back down to like 475.
Okay. It's still close to 500.
Yeah.
But he decided to perch up inside the Mandalay Bay casino hotel.
Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay.
Yeah.
I guess I missed an A in there, didn't I?
Sorry, man.
And opened fired with the AK-47.
I highly doubt an AK would have had that range.
No, it wasn't AK. What was it?
AR-15.
AR-15, that's what it was. He just propped it up on a stand and leaned out the window and basically just shot everybody up. Just the few major points that there are to it is that, one, he killed 59 people, which is the largest mass shooting tragedy in the United States history, in modern history, I guess you could say. And it was just a terrible situation because there were, I guess you could say, elderly, but not really, but like there were every spectrum of age was there at the concert, and it affected a lot of people's lives, and he's a terrible, terrible person for what he did. But yeah, that's just kind of the overview that I guess you could give about the situation. Phil, you want to add anything to that, or you just want to hop into these details?
Let's just go ahead and hop into this.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
Just to preface this for the audience, I have remained willfully ignorant so that they can teach me and therefore you if you don't know anything. Just so I seem like an idiot later on.
Well, I mean, they know you, so they know you're already
Make
an
fun
idiot,
of me.
but it's fine. All right, so when I was, obviously we heard about this after we had all left my house, or did we figure out when we were all here?
It was I found out right after we left.
So basically we instantly started talking about this lightly because we knew we were going to talk about it here on the podcast, but we've kind of taken this week to kind of see what's being reported on it, see how it's been updating, see what's been going on about it. And one of the biggest things that, stuck out to me was that it's not that this was just the worst mass shooting in our country in modern history. There's been 4 other. We've seen that phrase 4 times in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, I understand people are terrible people, and I understand this is going to happen in the world. But 4 times, and actually it's been less than 20 years. Or, yeah, roughly around 20 years, because the first one was in 93.
I think it was Columbine.
Yeah. Or, no, it wasn't. There was one other one. But it doesn't matter. But we've seen that phrase 4 times in our 21 years of life. That's crazy. And there have been like 43 mass shootings, depending on how you define it, in that time as well. That's that's basically double our age. That's a good 2 a year.
I mean, fuck, even more. Do you remember 2015? There's like another one every other fucking month.
Yep. I actually have a list of all of them here, but this article defined mass shooting as if 3 or more people were killed or injured from the shooting. So before Stephen Paddocks, the Orlando nightclub one was the worst at one point.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
I know this seems very strange, but I heard this theory put out. Do you think that everyone subsequently being referred to as the worst, because it is the worst, do you think that gives certain psychopaths the incentive to do even more so that they can be the one who did the worst mass shooting?
I mean, I don't know enough about psychopaths, like
It's
psychology to be able to tell you that.
It's one of those things they've been talking about, like, is basically not on purpose or not purposefully, but actually doing like calling them the greatest and glorifying them, is that going to lead to copycats trying to do like the same thing again?
Okay.
And they've said like usually after an event like this, they will see a couple copycats pop up out of the woodwork.
And then after the nightclub, the Virginia Tech one that happened when we were young, I want to say it was 2012, possibly. Or no, it was before that.
What about the Sandy Hook?
Sandy Hook was 27. The Virginia Tech guy was 32.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just barely, but yeah, it goes Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech, Orlando nightclub, and the Las Vegas one. Yeah. And it brings up a lot of different issues within our society, man. You know, obviously the Orlando nightclub one was a gay nightclub, so that brings up the
homophobic element of it.
Prejudice within our country. This one doesn't really have to do much with race because every race was present at this event. People from every walk of life were there. As much as I hate to believe black people go to country music concerts, but they do.
And
go ahead.
That's one of the things that makes this shooting like one of a kind. Is it's been a week and they still have like no definitive motive. They don't know why he did it and like what caused him to do this. Because usually when somebody does something of this caliber, like they make it clear like what their purpose was behind the shooting.
Well, we're going back to outdoing another person. Wasn't his father a criminal, a bank robber?
His father was a bank robber, and he was on the FBI's most wanted list for a while.
Yeah.
But according to his brother, they didn't really see their father a whole lot. So
yeah, it's that kind of it doesn't fully take it out of the question, but
it's still there.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you guys know me, like I know I focus on race a lot because it's a huge issue, but like these are one of those moments where I think in this time, like within this week, we as a country need to be able to actually stand together and not be, fighting and killing each other and things like that, because this affected everybody. Like there were children at this event. Like there was a story of a mother who had her 4-year-old there who had to basically take bullets for this child because she was gonna die. And when we have to take it to that point within our society, there's obviously something very wrong with the way we do things, whether that be the gun laws, whether that be the way our entertainment and media is run, or that be just the way we raise our kids. There's still something very wrong that we just need to figure out what it is and fix it as a country, not as, not like white people do it because it was a white guy who shot people, or black people fix what we got going on just because it's, you know what I mean? It's something that we need to all realize and address in some way.
Absolutely. And I'm a big proponent of this is people always rush to gun laws when this happens. Don't get me wrong, I do think we need some tighter gun control.
Yeah.
But I very much do think this is more of a mental health thing. I think we do need to increase, it's called the accessibility to mental health treatment and what's it called? I don't know. Just make
mental health awareness.
Yeah, awareness, because you don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, someone might have seen the signs, but then again, people like this who do things like that, they don't show signs.
Yep.
Especially like somebody of his caliber. Like he was like platinum level gambler at these casinos. He spent like hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars at these casinos gambling. And,
yep.
He was pretty much a self-made millionaire. Like he had so much money, and like he didn't really have any reason, really.
Yeah.
No.
And if I remember, he had no priors. He passed all the background checks. Yeah.
Like not even a seatbelt ticket showed up when they did his record.
Which that's where the gun laws get foggy, because I hate the gun laws too, but like by the letter of the law that stands now, he was fine, and he has every right to own a gun. But I found it interesting because I read an article. I don't have it pulled up right now, but it was talking about just who he was as a person based on the people that knew him best. And people, would see him in the casinos, and he would sit down at it was the video poker. So it's not like real poker where you're playing against other people and it's more of a gut feeling. It's more math.
Yeah.
He would sit there and play the odds all the time, and he could tell you what odds were what as soon as he saw it. He was a mathematician thinking guy. He was also an accountant, which makes sense. So, and people just said he had a very cold like facade around him because he would just be so focused on what he was doing, which when you think about some of the mental diseases we know of, sometimes being super focused on one thing and being cold and not socially, like, what's the word? Outgoing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Those are signs of some social disorder. I mean, mental disorders.
Well, it's one of those things where like some people are just so smart.
Yeah.
They don't quite get how to interact with people.
Yep. And I feel like he was one of those guys, but at the end of the day, I don't think someone that smart would do something this violent and this tragic. You know what I mean?
He'd have there has to be a reason, and I'm sure like a reason will be found. But with what we know now and like how little there actually is to go off of, that's gonna be a while.
I was doing some research on the what's it called, psychology of someone who would do something like this.
Yeah.
Jordan B. Peterson, anyone who knows him, he's actually a professor at University of Toronto, had a quick thing to say about people like this. That people who go on mass killings have a contempt for existence itself.
Yeah.
And that is a scary thought to me.
Yeah, that is. It's terrifying. Because, I mean, if you can be mad at just the fact that someone's alive, or that you're alive or anything like that, that's a dangerous...
And oftentimes, it's caused by something.
Yeah.
Like something has to happen to you to make you malicious towards existence. And that's scary, dude.
Yeah, this whole situation. I mean, everything about it is scary because, I mean, I don't know if Phil, I know you still stayed willfully ignorant, but like, did you see videos that people posted on Facebook and stuff?
Yeah, that was when I first found out.
Yeah.
And I actually spent that entire day basically listening to talk radio, just hearing the updates and the new information that was coming out throughout the day. But,
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around it saying that, some people's videos discredit other people. That's not the point. To me, that's like way off base of what we need to be focusing on, and that's just like our social media Twitter age being Twitter. You know what I mean? Yeah. What we need to focus on is that there are people out there who, I mean, these civilians who basically got put in the middle of a war zone and had to fend for their lives, and they were like I said, there were kids exposed to it, or women, elderly people, I mean even men, like they were exposed to something that should never happen in our country, and we're sitting over there arguing about whose video is more accurate. You know what I'm saying? That's just, to me, that's a big red flag to me about what our society is.
A friend of ours, you both know him, Xavier.
Yeah.
He said something actually kind of, what's it called, revealing, that people will say anything as long as it makes it sound like they're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of this is.
Yeah, but when they have video that kind of backs up what they're saying, it makes it harder to deny. And that's the problem with this, is like, we know what we've been told through media and the news, but the number of videos out there that contradict what the news is saying, but just every video you see is just another point, and it shows a lot more than the last video did.
I'm thankful personally that, because like I'd stopped watching them after like the second day that they were, but I thank Lord so much that it was too dark for me to actually see somebody like actually die in the middle of that field. I mean, obviously you knew it was happening, but you can never get like a real quick, clear look at it, because it was always just video of just people scrambling everywhere.
Yeah.
Because like there's one thing to hear the gun go off and to see people running and things like that, but there's another thing to see someone actually like laying on the ground dead because of this. It's like that's why I'm always so worried about when people put videos up like this, because I understand it's a tragedy and you want the tragedy to be known about and you want to, I guess you could say document it for whatever reason, but at the end of the day, as a dead person laying on the ground, there's like a level of respect for me personally that I have. Like in that moment, there's no way I'm pulling out my phone like, I got to catch this, you know what I'm saying?
See, it was a concert though.
Which is true. People already had their phones out and things like that.
And they were already recording, which is where most of this footage actually like came from, is people turned around and were like, "Oh shit."
But I feel like there are still some who were like hiding and were like, "Oh crap, let me get this on for the gram real quick." You know what I mean? Not saying that that's like, I mean, it's a terrible thing to do, but
we talked about that in literally our first podcast.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's I mean, we could go into the gun laws, but I don't know if you guys really want to do that right now because that's like a.
I have no problem.
You know,
I don't have an issue
Okay.
doing it. I wanted to bring up the point, the fact that there were 59 people killed.
Yep.
400, close to 500 people that were injured. And at 10 o'clock the next morning, Hillary Clinton tweets, "The crowd fled at the sound of gunshots. Imagine the deaths if the shooter had a silencer, which the NRA wants to make easier to get." Her immediate response is to immediately push gun
Yep.
restrictions. Like,
Yep.
people were still laying
Yep.
on the ground.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Shitty for her, but to an extent, she's right. Why do you want a silencer? Why does anybody need a silencer?
That's not the point. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that I'll agree with. Come on, show some
It's-
goddamn decency.
yeah,
But
it's
come
the suppressors, it's actually picking up movement here. They've been kind of hushed away here for a while, but they're really big in other countries, and it's actually for like
hearing protection.
courtesy and hearing protection. Most people, when they go to a range in the other countries, they all have silencers,
yep.
and
I'll have to look into
it
that.
makes it a lot quieter, and it makes it a lot easier on people's ears. It's a lot safer for people as well. Like, you can still get them here, but it's extremely difficult.
Mhm.
You have to do a lot of paperwork.
I like the idea of that. I really do. I won't even
What the
joke. Yeah, you do not need a silencer, and she's right on that part. Had you not heard the fucking gunshots, people wouldn't know what happened for a good 5 seconds,
That-
and that's an
But-
extra 5 seconds you need to get away.
But the problem is, you watch a movie, you see somebody with a silencer, and you don't hear the gun. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
they still
absolutely.
make a shit ton of noise.
Yeah, but okay.
But
so
at
when
a
you're
concert-
at a concert,
Yeah.
how many
It's-
feet away up? That
I mean,
in
I
this
get.
context, it makes sense.
I mean,
not
she's
that it sounds-
she's. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. She's a piece of shit for tweeting that at the time that she did.
yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I have to agree with George on this one. But that's just because my stance on gun laws
You're
is
wrong.
where
So
it
you
is.
know me, I'm not some anti-gun guy.
I know.
Absolutely, anybody can ask. I'm pro-gun to an extent,
Oh, hold on. No, sorry. Go ahead. I was talking to myself. You're good.
but I do realize that we need to have certain rules in place, and might not be able to stop mass shootings because, like we said earlier, most of the times when it comes to mass shootings, people will pass those background checks.
Sure.
But we just need to make it that much more difficult.
And see, I don't know. You guys don't have a whole lot of experience with it,
Yeah, I don't.
but the actual like process to go through and get some of these guns is outrageous.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot more difficult than you would think to get some of these weapons.
Well, once again, we have to ask, what weapons are you trying to get?
No, like, even just like standard guns. Like, if I went into a gun shop and bought an AR-15, I'd have to fill out pages and pages and pages and pages of paperwork, and it would take weeks to get the permit.
I don't think it should be weeks, but I think we do need to.
Because every
Get certain
time,
things.
every time you go to buy a gun, they do a background check. And you have to fill out all these forms, and like they double check everything. It's double, tripled checked, maybe checked 4 times before they even like give the okay.
But you know where that fails? Orlando nightclub.
Yeah, because he was on the no-fly list. Actually,
He was investigated by the FBI. No one who's investigated by the FBI should ever be able to buy a gun. Period.
Yeah. So that was a
It was a
Fuck
slip.
up
Yeah, it was a
on-
slip. It was a
Yeah.
slip, and I'm saying it
That's
happens.
something we need to fix in this system. we
But
can-
okay, before you guys keep going on this, obviously every paper has bias, so take this for what you will. But it was the Washington Post, which I don't know their stance on stuff where they
They
lean.
tend to lean more liberal.
Okay. So they have this article where it's the 50 years of U.S. mass shootings, right? And what's really cool about it is that they have a little person, a picture of a silhouette of a person for every person that was killed or injured in a mass shooting, right? It's 948 of them in the past 50 years. I think it's mostly just killed because and it hasn't been updated probably from the Las Vegas one because that's a lot of injured people. But so as you go down, it also lists all the different types of guns that they know were used in these mass shootings. I'm gonna tell you right now, majority of them, handguns. Which, look, I'm not against owning a handgun. It is what it
Absolutely not.
is.
That's
But at the same time, 164 of them were obtained legally, and 39 were obtained illegally. Again, take it for what you will. You can skew it however you want. That's just the numbers that there are.
Yeah.
And some of these guns on here are like hunting rifles. like, I don't know the exacts of them, Phil, but, like, you can look. Oh, that was loud. Tell me, is any of that really that necessary in an urban environment?
You can go hunting in the countryside. I have.
But I'm saying, like,
house.
A lot of those are actually just very common, like, keep your family safe. Somebody's breaking into your house.
why?
All of those could be used.
Why?
I have a shotgun in my house. There's nothing wrong.
I know,
with it.
but my question is why?
Why hunting and home protection?
How often do you go hunting, George?
I actually aim to take it up here soon. I've actually been talking to Phil about that.
Which is fine, but I'm saying, like, why do you need the hunting one? I'll give you, but the AR-15, why?
The thing you have to understand is so most of the guns that were pictured there only hold 4 to 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand
Give
that.
people the name of this article so they can look this up.
Yeah, it's 50 years of U.S. I already did that. 50 years of or what this article says is 2 different. Okay, just go to the Washington Post and look at the math of mass shootings. But I'm saying, Phil, like, once you get past these, like, single shot guns, why do you need that?
See, what you don't understand is that gun there is almost no different than some of the other guns pictured. It just looks scarier.
Yeah, that is actually one thing.
It's the same gun, just with a slightly larger magazine.
But why do you
it
need
looks scarier.
But I'm saying, like, why do you need that? Why can't you protect your family with a 9mm that the one the police use?
Well, we can also make that argument for
Police
cars.
don't use.
What do they use?
40 cal.
40 cal. Okay, then why don't you just use that? Like, why do you need all these shotguns and all these assault rifles? Like, hunting rifles, that's cool. That makes sense. But for him to have an AR-15 in a Vegas casino, like, that shouldn't happen.
Quick thing, we also need to look at the fucking hotel on this one.
Oh yeah, most definitely,
We can't
most
just
definitely.
put this all on the government.
Yeah, no. Yeah. The hotels they need to
Yeah.
put, like, they should have had, like, metal detectors. Yeah.
I just wanted to make a quick point. You said assault rifles.
Yeah.
That is actually a very commonly misunderstood term. Assault rifle, the definition is a rapid-fire, magazine-fed automatic rifle designed for military use.
Right.
In order to get one of those here, you have to spend upwards of $70,000 in order to purchase one.
Okay. What does AR stand for? An AR-15.
Armalite rifle.
Okay.
It's the company who designed it. I believe it was like 1946, and it was the 15th model. That's where the term came from.
I have a quick request of all of us here. When we're discussing something like this, can we not get into to semantics?
Well, no, the reason I'm doing it...
That's an important point.
It is an important point because the media completely strews it the wrong way, too.
Because the way he explained it, the way I'm thinking of an assault rifle now is the one that's on the side of a goddamn helicopter that can tear your ass up in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, the difference between what most average people here have today is a semi-automatic weapon. You have to pull the trigger for every fire of a bullet.
Yeah.
An assault rifle is a fully automatic military use, basically only weapon.
Okay. Still don't think you need it.
Okay, here's the thing. We can also make that argument with cars. Why do you need a car that can go upwards of...
You don't.
But people might like them. Phil's a car enthusiast. He might be a car enthusiast
I understand
as well.
that. But also, like, I get they're the same. You can kill as many people with a gun as you can with a car if you really want to try for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just more malicious in this way. Because you know the balls you got to have to look somebody in the eye and shoot them? That's not a normal human. Humans can't internally normally do that. Yeah. That's something you have to have military training to be able to do, to be able to fight off of that. I don't even know what the term for it would be, but, like, there's no human can just look another human in the eyes and pull the trigger.
Yeah, we actually
without having any emotion.
We talked about this on some other podcasts. I don't know if it's on any of the ones we released. We discussed how some people just aren't inclined to kill naturally.
Exactly.
They just aren't. You have to go through special training. Literally, they'll use silhouettes shaped like humans to get you used to shooting something shaped as humans. Even in World War II, sometimes enemy platoons would come across each other. They wouldn't shoot. They'd yell at each other. They'd throw shit. They'd never shoot.
So what's the AK and AK stand for?
It's
Kalashnikov is one of them.
Pretty sure it's the automatic Kalashnikov.
Yeah.
And Kalashnikov is the last name of
Is
basically
that considered
the inventor.
an assault rifle? Or is that, like, in between?
It's one of those where pre-1986 they were fully auto.
Okay.
There's actually the let me find the name of it real quick. It's
because that's on this list as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the name of the bill. The 1968. Okay, so the main federal law governing fully automatic weapons is called the National Firearms Act, or the NFA. It was made in 34, and then it was modified in 68 by the Gun Control Act. Basically, anything after 68 is there's almost no chance of getting your hands on a fully automatic one.
Yeah, and from what I understand,
which is good.
He modded them himself to make them fully auto.
I think, yeah.
So
it was kind of like, it was kind of like a nigger rig. Like, it was a little.
It is, but it's not.
Yeah.
The devices he used cost upwards of $600, $700.
Yeah.
You can get them, and actually, to do what he did, you can do with any gun. You don't have to have those parts. You can do it simply by how you're holding and pulling the trigger. So those stocks that he used, the bump stocks, just make it easier.
I got you.
But he could have done that even without those stocks.
But, okay, here's the question. Do you think this would have been as bad if it was just a pistol?
No, because
see what I'm saying?
Pistols don't have that kind of range.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's where I get to the point where it's like, why do we need these long-range weapons?
Discipline a gorilla.
Shut up. Stupid.
That's a Michael Shea joke.
I understand, okay, there's no way to fully get rid of, that it'd be the dumbest thing in the world for us to fully get rid of guns, because then
especially in
the
this
world
country
would just lose its mind, right? And I'm fully aware of that, and I understand that. And me not being someone who's dealt with guns a lot in my life, I also understand that the killing power behind these things. And I don't think a lot of people get that.
That is one of the major problems. That's why I'm a large proponent of, teaching people.
Yeah. Which that could be the answer. I mean, obviously not with Stephen Paddock. That dude was gone. But, that could be one of the answers we need, is to stop all this bickering and arguing and actually listen to each other about this. Have the NRA. The NRA needs to stop being so political, too, because that's dumb.
Yeah.
But have them actually stop just saying, oh, we need more guns, we need our guns, da-da-da-da. Shut up. Give me your facts that you got. Teach me why. But on the other flip side of that, we have to be willing to listen. As liberals, you have to be willing to listen. I'm looking at you because you're the more liberal out of all three of us.
Really?
But, I mean, you are.
Yeah, kind of.
You have to, all of us have to be, I have to be willing to listen to what they're saying. Because you can't argue with logic. If someone brings logic to you, it works. It makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of it is learning, because most people, they don't know anything really about guns. They've never really been around them. They know they're out there, they know they kill people, and that's about all they know.
I saw your gun for the first time a week ago.
Yeah.
It's the only gun I've ever really seen, other than people carrying them in stores and stuff, but you don't really see it in that moment.
Yeah, but once you actually have an understanding of the power that's in your hands, and you realize what you could do, whether it be on purpose or accident, you have a little bit more control, and it just gives you this feeling, and you're like, wow, this is kind of scary.
Even when you took the whole magazine out and emptied the chamber and handed it to me, it was the weirdest feeling in the world, because I knew in that moment, first of all, just the weight of it makes you feel like it's a fucking deadly weapon. But just the idea that if I pointed this at someone and pulled the trigger, they'd be dead. That concept is unreal. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. And I think a lot of people need to, maybe everyone just needs to hold a pistol in their life. I don't know. It's just one of those things that you don't get until you're actually encountered with it, I guess. But I was going to say that, these guns are, to me, they're still pointless to have all of them. And like I said, we're not going to get rid of all of them. However, I hate the fact that I'm sounding so liberal in this, because I always like to listen to both sides, but I can't find the reason, Phil. If you can kill somebody with a pistol and to defend yourself, that's cool. That's all you need. And even hunting the Indians hunt with bow and arrows. Why don't you go do it? Like,
okay, well, here's another thing I don't like about that argument. Why do you need this? We in this country we have the right to bear arms. You need to tell us why we don't deserve it. That is another thing. It is on people who are against guns to convince those who are for guns why they should stop.
okay,
And it's up to what's called gun owners and
you ready?
gun advocates.
You ready?
Yeah?
Las Vegas, Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech. Those are 3 goddamn pretty good reasons, especially when there are kids involved, dude. Like,
True.
Sandy Hook, elementary school, you're going to tell me the gun laws didn't need to change after that? Let's be real.
You know me. Like I said, I'm for guns
Like,
within reason. But you're also... You're going to say something?
The other problem we have is we're at a point where there's so many regulations out there, and in order to really pass more, it's going to be extremely difficult to find like logical.
maybe we just need to start from scratch.
So all guns are good.
No. I'm saying like don't put that law out there,
Yeah.
but just like as Congress, just sit there, forget everything else, forget all the other laws you made, forget all the other bullshit you've passed,
And just write new ones that could
write it right now.
replace them.
And then as soon as you write those, get rid of the old ones.
Yeah. Or you can start phasing them out like over the course of like a couple of years.
Yeah.
That'd probably be better.
And I think honestly, the first thing we need to do, like this might be like too far out there, but psych test, like a real, like psych test.
Well, here's the thing: who is in charge of what?
Yeah, who gets to determine who's crazy and who's not?
And not to mention what disabilities get on there. Because I know for me, ADHD, I have that. They could be like, well, one of the symptoms of ADHD is that you're very impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
They could be like, oh, he could flip out in the heat of the moment.
But there's levels to that because there are different impulses. If you have a violent impulse, you need to be on the list where you can't have a gun. If you have an impulse just to, I don't know, go smoke a cigarette, that's like, there's different impulses in life.
Yeah.
And we can separate those by how violent they are.
And this is one of the reasons where a small government would be better, is that they could handle it case by case better.
Did you say a small government would be better as a liberal?
He actually did.
Bro, I'm proud of you.
What did I tell you? I'm for.
I'm just kidding.
being
I'm
right.
just kidding.
I just want to be.
No, I feel that. I feel that. I feel that.
This.
But I'm saying, like, because I guarantee you, like, now that even, like, doctors are looking back at it, there's some signs that we probably could have caught with Stephen Paddock. You know what I'm saying? And there's signs that you could have caught with Virginia Tech dude, because he was just, like, I'm pretty sure he was just, like, bullied to a point where he just couldn't, like, I don't remember the story to it, but, like, he just couldn't take it anymore. He just started shooting people.
Yeah, like I said, you have to develop a contempt for the existence
Yes.
to do this shit.
That instance there, where he was bullied, that's a society issue.
Yeah,
that wasn't.
that's I understand that, but, like, you can also,
Yeah.
you can see that coming. You know what I mean? And it's, but the Orlando nightclub, like, granted that was provoked by what the killer claims to be ISIS, or the Islamic State. That's the FBI knew about this. They invested this guy like 2 or 3 times about this, but he was still able to buy a rifle. For what? What good can that man do with a rifle?
None.
Exactly. And he went, and, like, what really tore me up about this was, I don't know if you guys ever, like, because this is way before we ever do this podcast stuff. I don't know if you guys ever really, like, read articles about it and stuff. I gotta find it, because they have text messages from that this man, like, this young dude was sending his mom. Yeah, bro, it's
The Orlando shooter?
yeah, no, one of the victims,
Oh god.
which is it's terrible.
Who texts during a fucking emergency?
When you know you're going to die, you're gonna want to tell the person you love that you love them.
No, fuck that.
Especially when he's hiding and trying to survive. Like, I don't blame this dude for doing that at all. Because I know if I was in that situation, there's only one person I want to call, and it'd probably be my damn mom.
You wouldn't
Like,
call me, really?
no,
you wouldn't
get
call
out
me.
of here, bro. But basically, he was like, his text was like, he said, "Mommy, I love you." He said, "I'm going to die. He's in here with us. They're shooting at the club. He's in the bathroom with us. I'm going to die." She never heard from him again.
Fuck.
Didn't find out he was dead until 3 hours later when they found his body. Like, I don't think people understand the weight of that. Like, I don't get how, like, I'm going to put women on blast. The congresswomen that support, like, this dude having the right to buy a gun, how can you hear that and have kids and not feel a certain way about that? Like how? Because even me, not having kids, but just having a mom, I don't know what I'd do. Like, that would destroy my mother. Destroy any mother. And that's kind of where I'm at. I guess I'm looking at it more from like an emotional standpoint of what these things do to people, and like the government just seems to not care.
Well, once again, you're dealing with what is their rights. But
your rights should never affect someone else's life in pursuit of happiness.
I know that.
Ever.
I know that, but you have to look at it from their perspective. That's how you start a dialogue.
I know. But I don't think there's a dialogue when it comes to killing somebody. You're wrong.
You'd be surprised.
100% wrong.
Oh, okay, quick thing. Bill O'Reilly, I think Tuesday he tweeted something about this is the price of freedom.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Which is not, I know is not the conservative, what's it called, party line.
No, it's not at all.
In his case, go fuck yourself for that, Bill O'Reilly.
Like, that's the problem, is that there are conservatives, I'm sure, out there that are like that. Who are those extreme right-wingers who are like, oh, this is what you have to do if you want freedom. No, it is not. At all.
I think the biggest issue with all of this, it's not the guns. Like, really, no matter what we do to try and prevent like stuff like this, it's always going to happen. There's no way to have 100% effectiveness at preventing this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But at the same time, it's like,
well, yeah, okay.
I'm saying, like, it feels like the government doesn't care.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Once again, this is people's rights you're fucking with here. And remember whose people's rights you're fucking with, the ones with the guns. You're going to listen to them, yeah? But back to what Phil said, we do have to remember that, and you also hear this argument, what's it called, brought up every once in a while, and I believe it to an extent, though I don't think we should take it into account as much as we do. He could have done this with a knife. He could have done, well, not
no,
to
he
the
couldn't.
extent.
There's no way he can kill 59
You know what I
people
mean. You know exactly what I meant.
No.
You know exactly what I meant. Don't start with this.
George,
you know exactly what I meant. He could have gone on a fucking stabbing spree, the same thing. He
just to back George up, there was an incident in Japan. I don't remember how long ago it was, but a dude did go on a knife spree and injured or killed like 20 plus people. It was like upper 20s, not quite 30. But he did go, he literally just ran around cutting people's limbs off.
Yeah.
But
quick,
no, hold on.
Let me finish my point. He could have done this with explosives, a car, a knife, anything. We need to focus on the mental health aspect before any of this.
First of all, I would like to point out how spaced out were those killings with the knife. Because I guarantee if this dude was at a country music concert with a knife, a redneck would have knocked his ass out before he ever got another kill.
You think that?
It wasn't a very long time frame.
But I'm saying, like, how, like, spread out were the people? Because I'm saying these people are in a mass group.
It was in a subway.
Was it? Okay.
They were fairly close together.
But I still feel like you're not going to kill 59 people at a concert with a knife.
True.
Like,
but
there's
you
no
can
way.
Still kill a shitload of people. So once we get rid of guns, they're going to go to knives. We can't get rid of knives. We're going to have to face the mental health aspect.
I'd rather take a knife over a gun any day.
Okay, great. So you still want crazy people walking around?
No. I'm not saying that we don't have to focus on the mental health side of it. I'm just saying the guns are a big part of this too.
Yes.
Because the reason they choose guns is because it's the most powerful thing you can kill somebody with.
Exactly. The only reason they want to kill someone is because they're fucking crazy.
But if you get rid
of
an avenue of killing somebody, it lessens the effect of it.
You know what I'm saying.
I know that, but you're
I'm what? In this situation, he wanted to take out as many people as he could. There are a number of different ways that he could have gone about this.
And the easiest was the gun. That's my point.
You give me an hour, I'll figure out how to make a pipe bomb.
It was an option. That's all it was. It was just an option. The number of people at that concert was outrageous.
Yeah, I know.
If he really wanted to, he could have taken a car, drove it through the gate, and still taken out 100+ people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have. I understand that.
But even if guns aren't an option, people will turn to the most effective way that they see fit.
Which is, once again, we need to focus on the mental health aspect. Don't get me wrong, we need better gun control. I will say that day in and day out on
But
certain aspects.
My
Lower
point,
clip sizes, higher prices on ammunition so you can't get your hands on that much of it, you know?
my point is, why is mass stabbings not the thing we're worried about? Why is mass car killings not the thing we're worried about? It's mass shootings.
Yes.
Because they know a gun is the easiest way to kill people the fastest.
Yes.
Why don't we control that more than we do now? That's what I'm trying to ask you, George. I don't care if it's a knife.
I know. I just want to reiterate that point for anybody listening. And
it's
just in general.
The reason is because we're at a point where if we can't do much more to regulate it, because at that point we're kind of teetering on a point where if we try to pass too much more, it's either guns or no guns.
Which I think that's bullshit. There's a million things we could do. We create a gun registry at a county level. We could.
There is a gun registry.
At a county level.
Federal.
Fuck that.
If you go into a gun store and you buy a gun, you're put on a list.
No, I want to.
They know you have that gun.
County.
That's why there's serial numbers on gun stores.
Yeah, I know, but still, county.
They have
level.
They have record of a bullet fired from that gun. So if you use that gun in a shooting, they can trace it back to ballistics and find you.
Also, I'm just throwing out ideas. Lower magazine counts. Like as in you can only have like 15 rounds in a rifle's magazine.
That's not going to fix anything.
Hey, that's a couple seconds you can reload.
The magazine size doesn't
not
really
the
matter
problem.
because the people who want to do it will find a way around it.
Yep.
Okay, well, make a fucking effort. That's all I'm saying.
And that's the other thing I'm pissed about.
What can we do?
Because
just because it's not the best solution, we can still throw something out there until someone else gets something better.
Because I saw Barack Obama made a statement, and he like tweeted and things like that. He basically said, like, to do nothing is the worst thing we could do. Because it shows that the government does not give a damn whether we live or die. Which is really messed up because who's their cash cow?
Us?
People.
Yeah.
But they don't care about us. That's my biggest issue. Is that they just act like they don't care and that they want nothing to do with whether we live or die. When they need to realize we're the one that pays them, we're the ones that puts them where they are. Care about us. That's all I'm asking is for someone to stop fighting each other over the bullshit semantics and care.
It's not really semantics, but
yes, it is. Because when you're arguing about whether someone's, like you said, your right should encroach on someone's death, that's not something that should be allowed at all. Because technically, it's the KKK's right to protest, but it instills fear in my life.
What do you think semantics? I understand exactly what the point you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
But completely aside, what do you think semantics means?
It's just like the different ways people talk and the way they mean things.
It's names. That's why I said.
I mean, yeah, but like it's just the different names people use.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all it is.
Continue with what you were saying.
But I'm saying like it's the KKK's right to protest, and their protest could be the form of killing somebody. They could easily make that claim. Is that right?
No, because here's the thing: there's laws against killing already.
Yeah.
That's. I understand the point.
I'm agreeing with George on that one.
I understand.
But I understand what you're saying.
I understand the point you're making.
Because this dude is killing with a gun, right?
Yeah.
It's his right to own a gun.
Yeah.
You're basically giving him the right to kill people.
No.
Yes.
Well, technically, it's the right to defend yourself.
No, because who was he defending himself against?
In this situation, he wasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
When the law was written, it was in
the law context. The law was written by a bunch of racist white people, so I neglect it at any point in time.
Okay.
Just saying.
Get rid of all the don't use freedom of speech. Don't use. Enough with this fucking shit, man.
I'm just saying we need to update the laws in general, but
absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I agree completely, 100%. We need to find new solutions because the ones we have aren't working.
Okay,
but that's where I come back and say, no matter what we do, something's going to happen. It's just how it is, and it sucks for it to be that way. It really does.
And I view that logic as, well, it's going to get broken eventually, so let's not.
Well, no,
not try.
I'm saying like. We can try and fix it. It's just at some point you have to realize, like, you're going to pass these laws. These laws are going to make changes. But you have to understand how many people there are out there and how, like, hard it is to keep tabs on all those people who want these things and no matter what we do, I'm not saying we shouldn't do anything. I'm just saying that no matter what we do, it's going to continue to happen.
Which,
yes, it will. But 43 and 21 years. Like, that's not saying you're wrong and not saying that, like, your point, but, like, that's ridiculous.
It is.
It's
I
absolutely
agree.
absurd.
But I don't believe it's a gun issue. I believe with, like, George, it's a people issue. It's a society issue.
which we just need to find something to do. Which, like I said, you're right in that. People find a way around this. There'll be another thing to worry about, but I don't want to get rid of all guns. You know the type of fucking societal mayhem that's going to cause? That'd be too much. So we have to find these little compromises here and there. Because at the way this is going, if we do not make an effort to fix these gun laws, we're going to go on that whole nationwide weapons ban. And I don't want that. I don't want it because A, I like guns, and B, because half the country's going to lose their shit. And yeah. And plus it'll confirm exactly what they were fearing the entire time. The government is going to take their guns. So,
I mean, that's... I mean, I guess just because I don't have a lot of experience, it doesn't bother me at all. The idea of it, like, I understand why you guys don't want to do it, and the only reason I say we shouldn't do it is because of how pissed people would be. But at the end of the day, if they literally said no guns, my life would not change in the slightest.
It would, though.
I don't know.
Because that one guy who has that one gun is going to get a lot of power.
No,
Because
well, the police and stuff would still have guns, things like that. But like,
how do you feel going downtown, like downtown Indy, walking around late at night, like around the circle?
it depends. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Like, it's just in the vibe I get from the situation. But 90% of the time, wouldn't be down there. Just because of where I live. But like, I get what you're saying though. I wouldn't be down there at all.
It's one of those things where if they took away all guns, they banned all guns, the only people who would have guns would be the police, the military, and the criminals.
And I hate the idea of the police having more guns, but that's just, that's a whole other issue. But no, I mean, that's why I get it. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, if it could stop 43 killing, like, if it could dampen the number, like 43 mass shootings, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, but why not even just, like, this is good, but like, why not just try it? See what happens.
We also have to figure out what to try. That's another thing.
No, I'm saying, like, for real, like, let the Republicans be like, all right, let's have them get a little cocky, be like, let's do it your way. See how this works out. 90% of the time is not going to work. But what if there's that 10% chance it does? And everyone is fine.
See, but that could be flipped the other way.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
Okay,
That's
to
fine.
be fair, sometimes with, or at least with the NRA, they're
a little crazy. Let's be real. They're a little.
No matter what the problem is, they would just want to throw more guns at it.
And the only problem with that is because the problem with it doing the other way is racism. It's the number one problem with it. No, 100% number one problem.
What,
with it.
giving everybody a gun?
Mm-hmm.
How's it? How would race play into that?
Are you joking?
If everybody had a gun.
Yes. Yeah. You know what just happened? Black people and white people would just start shooting each other for no reason.
Yeah.
They already do that.
No, they don't.
Well, black people shoot everybody for no reason.
Exactly. Like, no, hey, black on black crime's a thing. I ain't going to deny that. But I'm saying because the reason you can't do it the other way is because there are too many things going on in the country that are too volatile. Because you got every minority, like if you're a brown person, you have a gun, you're going to be ready to shoot some white people because they look at you the wrong way. If you're part of the homosexual community, hey, these people have been dogging you for years. They've been beating you up, killing you. What you going to do? You're going to get that gun, feel that power, and be like, now it's time to stop this.
That's where it goes back to teaching.
Yeah. I know. But I'm just saying, like...
Also, another thing I would recommend, mandatory fucking... Like I said earlier, treat it a bit like a car. You have to pass some tests. Not mental, just do you know how to operate it? Do you know not to fucking shoot at somebody unless you have to kill them? Shit like that.
Nope. Because you can fake that. You can easily fake that.
Still.
Like, that wouldn't do anything, I don't think.
This is another thing where...
Not trying to just, like, totally discredit your entire opinion, make you look stupid. I just don't think it'd work.
I could go along with, like, mandatory safety courses.
I think that'd be great.
That's fine to stop the accidental shootings.
Well, no, like, not even...
Once again, we're not trying to stop all gun crime ever. We're just trying to lower that number as low as we can.
But when I say accident, like, safety courses, it's not just for the accidents, which it would greatly cut down on.
Yeah.
But if people like actually took a course, they learned like what they're actually holding in their hands, it would actually kind of make people realize like.
But do you think it'd stop these 43 people who?
No, but it would stop the weekly people, people dying weekly of toddlers shooting them. That's a thing.
Did you really just say that out loud?
No, that's the thing. Look, that statistic.
That is a statistic.
Like about weekly, someone gets shot by a toddler.
Oh, I thought you meant like they're weak for being shot. I was like, are you
No.
kidding me?
No.
I was about to come across this table and beat your ass.
It'll stop things like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you meant like they're like...
We've been going back and forth on this topic for a little while. I want to jump back into like the actual details
Go
of the
ahead.
Las Vegas shooting.
Let's do this.
Sorry, we went on a tangent. It was a good tangent, but a relevant tangent for once.
Stephen Paddock. Okay, crazy thing is, he picked the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino. They have record of him buying hotel rooms with views of like 4 or 5 other concert venues prior to this, but he never showed up. So this is the one where he actually decided to show up and do something.
Yep.
What I find amazing is he disabled all the security cameras and the fire alarms. Like, you have to have some major knowledge or some like inside person in order to shut down like an entire building's fire alarms.
But look how much he was at the casino.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he picked the perfect spot because he knows those people, he knows that place very well.
And not to mention, we said he was a millionaire, right?
I mean,
bribery's
pretty
always
close to it. Yeah.
Bribery's always a thing.
But the other thing is,
and if you're gonna die, you're not gonna be shy with your cash.
is
Now, are you?
they did interview the casino employees talking about him, and they said the nights leading up to that incident, he had placed multiple calls complaining about the loud music coming from the concert because it was a multi-day event.
Yep.
He was getting really like aggressive and agitated inside the casino because he lost a lot of money.
Yep.
There were multiple things leading up to this.
That should have been huge red flags, but
the thing is,
it's normal stuff.
How does one man get 23 guns into a casino and like thousands of rounds into his hotel room in a casino without somebody noticing?
Okay, I'm gonna take this back because I have a question for you, Phil. Why is that not a gun law? Why is it not? Why are you not allowed? Why is there not a cap on the number of guns you can own? Like that's not relevant to why he did it or stopping gun laws. But like, why is there not like there's no way he should be able to own 23 guns?
Is there a cap on the number of cars you own?
No, but there's
the thing is, okay, I hate him so no matter how many guns you own, you're one person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I was genuinely curious.
That's how I feel about it. Like, or that's how I look at it. Is no matter how many guns you own, you're only one person, so you can only use technically one of those guns at a time.
That's fair.
All right, continue with what you were saying.
Okay, so yeah, there were apparently disabled all the security cameras, the fire alarms, got agitated the nights leading up to this event. Like, those are things that should have like hinted or been taken into consideration. But you know how like strict casinos are with their security. They're extremely uptight.
That's true
they have cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm surprised that he even got like.
This is a place where this should have never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it should never happen in general, but I get what you're saying.
But this is one of like, this would be comparable to like some dude like just walking up into the White House with a handful of guns and just like shooting everybody. Like, that's how easy this guy managed to do it.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the guy who broke into the White House?
No, I know there was a guy who jumped the fence and just started running at the White House a couple of years ago.
He should have been shot.
He made it almost all the way to the building.
That's
absurd. I heard he got in.
I mean, now that Trump's in there, it's not absurd, but like it's absurd.
He might have gotten in, I think. Yeah. I think he actually got into like one of the wings before they stopped him.
From what I understood, he actually got in.
That's crazy.
All right. As you're saying, this should not have happened.
Yeah. And the other thing is the facts coming out after the fact. Because originally it was he didn't have an accomplice. Mm-hmm. There was nobody else. It was just him. And now the sheriff has come out and said he planned to escape. He had to have had help.
Not necessarily.
So we don't. Well, the way he went about it is making them say, hey, he had to have had somebody else there who knew what was going on and was helping him.
I don't think that's necessarily true. But
He broke the window
Yeah.
that he was shooting out of.
Mhm.
He had a camera set up on his food tray cart outside of his room so he could see people coming and going. When he went to leave that room, after he finished firing down on the crowd, he went to leave that room, ran into hotel security guard. He fired over 200 rounds at that guy. Did not kill him. He injured him, but did not kill him.
He's a terrible shot, let me tell you.
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
They better be glad he was a terrible shooter.
He made his way to a second room, so
That's
if you look
terrible,
at the
I'm sorry.
pictures, the end of the building, there's more windows broken out. He got to another room, and he fired at these two giant, like, fuel tanks that were out of the way, so they're saying he was probably trying to cause a diversion,
Yeah.
draw people's attention to that side of the property, which was away from where he was at, in order for him to make his escape. They don't know much more about it because that's where they basically encountered him and killed him.
Yeah.
Or no, he killed himself.
Yeah.
But
Which, how do y'all feel about, like, the idea of, like, obviously this dude probably should have been put down a while ago, but, like, before 2 hours, but do you think that if there's, like, a way to talk these dudes down to make them suffer in prison would be better than killing them?
No, just kill him.
Just kill them?
Just kill him.
That's fair.
First of all, they killed and injured that
I mean,
many
at
people.
that point, I think they'd be facing a death penalty in some state. So
Does Nevada have the death penalty?
I don't know,
I
but I
don't
feel
know.
like they'd end up in another state.
Hopefully.
Probably.
Not to mention, why
It'd
would
be
you want?
federal.
Why'd you want to suffer? Why would you want to waste resources on that?
Just the mental and physical struggle that you go through in prison. Because there are people who would wish death over prison to some people, because prisons that can be that bad.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He's already famous,
I mean, I wouldn't say famous. I'd say infamous, my friend.
infamous, but the damage is already done.
I mean, I
Other
understand
psychopaths
that, but
like, oh no, I got to get the next number.
I feel like if he would have gone to prison, somebody would have killed him.
Yeah.
which is even better.
Why?
Because
Fucking kill him on the spot. Save the taxpayers money on
No,
the
because he
trial.
killed himself. So like he got what he wanted.
Who cares? He's
but we
gone.
still don't know what he wanted.
I don't care about him. I care about his victims. I care about potential victims in the future.
I mean, yeah.
I kind of do want to get into, like, not the conspiracies, but, like, some of the other viewpoints that
Yep.
people have had. The different videos, the different photos. So they're saying he's on the 32nd story and firing down on the crowd. There's multiple videos confirming that there was somebody at around, like, the 10th or 12th floor also firing. You can see muzzle flash out the window. I actually have a picture of the building, and it confirms that there's windows busted out there too. Yeah. And it's just one of those things, like, why were these cameras shut down? Like, what happened on the inside that nobody really knows?
Yeah.
That allowed this to happen.
I'm totally down with maybe he had an accomplice, but I'm not with this whole fucking, those. So I'm seeing 4 sets of 5 windows broken out, various floors. I'm totally fine with the theory that maybe he had an accomplice. That's totally plausible.
Yeah.
Absolutely plausible. I don't think it was a government thing, like, you know how people are saying shit like that. Don't really know what to say after that. But also, with the multiple windows broken out, remember, like you said, he fired at people in the hotel as well. And 200 rounds?
Yeah.
One of those might have hit a window.
He was falling into
But
the
George,
hallway.
he was
though.
firing into the hallway.
Yeah, the
And
opposite
that's
direction
on,
of it.
like, 20 stories below him.
Okay, to be fair, he's fucking flailing around. He's 6 fucking years old. You never know.
I mean, look, I feel like if there were an accomplice, that person got off scot-free, and they're damn lucky. But at the same time, like I said earlier, it doesn't. I know you want to talk about it, but it doesn't change the fact.
I know.
That like,
It's just, it's a discussion point.
yeah. I feel you. But
'cause
I don't think there was though. In all honesty, I don't.
I like President Bush, W. Bush, came out and tweeted.
W.
He tweeted, "I've been reading some of these conspiracy theories, and I think you guys are actually starting to convert me into a conspiracy theorist." And like all the comments underneath it was like, "Bush did 9/11."
Oh my god, that's terrible. Really, George?
Look, man, I thought it says silent. It said
Really?
silent. I had that symbol right there.
Really?
Back.
Snapchat has a different
Back
volume
to-
filter
hey,
than.
shut
Okay,
up.
I'm just saying. You just.
Back to W.
What about W?
Well-
We were done talking.
Oh,
about
Yeah, we were
anyway,
done.
God
actually,
dang it,
fun
dude.
point about W. People dislike Trump so bad that they're not so hard on W now.
Well, no shit. That should be every president besides the racist ones. Like,
Well, he's actually done a lot for the different communities
Who?
since he's been out of office.
W?
Yes.
Yeah, he's not.
there's no excuse for letting Katrina happen like that.
Oh yeah,
No excuse for
yeah.
that. That's the number one thing on my list. It's like, nah, I don't fuck with you like that.
Don't fuck with you.
But how do you guys believe, like, there are a lot of people who say, like, oh, there's no way this dude helped 30 people out of this shooting, yada yada. Do you believe
The dude in the truck?
Yeah.
I-
No. There's a dude who said he helped carry 30 different people.
The story
You
I
don't know.
read.
Yeah, I know.
was,
So I'm saying, like, do you guys?
It was
like,
a Marine. He stole a pickup truck
Yeah, I saw that story too.
and he basically shuttled people back and forth from the hospital in the concert venue.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was 33 people. He got 33 people from the concert venue who had been injured to a hospital quicker than an ambulance or anything else would have gotten them there.
Yeah, it's just
And I don't remember if it was a lady or a gentleman who owned the truck, but they actually managed to get a hold of him and say, the text message is pretty funny.
is it?
He's like, hey, this is so-and-so. You borrowed my truck the other night at the shooting. I believe you still have my keys. And he replies, yes, I have them right here. When do you want to meet up?
That's so cool though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not cool that that truck had to be used for that purpose, but it's cool that they were able to, like,
Yeah.
I saw on the news there was a guy. They were interviewing one of the, I guess you can call them victims, survivors, whatever you want to call them. One of the people there who had been injured, and I think he might have actually got hit in the leg, and some dude was able to help him, like, get out of the danger zone and get to help.
Into the danger zone.
I'm having a serious conversation. You can start singing, but like they were able to interview the dude or whatever. Of like the next day or day or two, I believe. They reunited these dudes, and these dudes just like had this this huge bro hug moment, and it was so real and so cool to see that.
There's another story very similar to that. So after this incident, Trump did make his way down there to talk to people and talk about it.
I know. Just go.
He was going through the hospital talking to victims, and this one dude who basically lost his leg, like they had to amputate it.
Yeah.
The president walks into his room. This guy starts to sit up. The nurse tells him to sit back down. You're going to hurt yourself. And he says, no. The president is in my presence. He came to see me. I will stand. He got out of the bed and stood up and shook the president's hand.
I wouldn't have done it.
He did. He is not a Trump supporter.
Yeah, I know.
But his response was, I respect the office that he has enough to stand.
I
which
don't, but that's,
that is something we need to bring back. We do need to bring back civility in politics.
It's one of those things where most of us, most people we know who have voted for Trump regret their decisions. But it's one of those things where he's now in that position.
Yeah.
So we have to have respect for him because he is our face for this country. Like, no matter how little we like it.
Yeah.
So
no.
he's the president. We're supposed to have respect for that position.
I understand.
That's something we kind of need to bring back.
Yeah, but we do need to bring back civility in politics. We're going to see a lot more mass shootings, actually. Remember that fucking thing that happened a while ago? Where they shot
that was very specific.
Where they shot at the GOP?
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah,
one
the
lady died,
basketball
didn't
game?
she? No.
I don't think anybody died. I think
No,
one
there
guy
was a
severely
senator
injured.
who was shot.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name was. I thought it was.
No,
I don't know.
it was a GOP pickup game. They're practicing for this tournament, I think.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was one more thing I wanted to
yeah,
talk about
if we
having to do with this Las Vegas shooting. Okay. So I've seen multiple reports of this now. About 15 minutes after the shooting started at Mandalay Bay, there were 2 other shootings in Las Vegas.
That same weekend?
Same night, same time.
Are you serious?
Yeah. One was at the Aria Hotel
Yeah.
and one was at Caesars.
Okay.
There's actually video footage from both of people just walking through with guns, just shooting people. But the news hasn't said anything.
That's crazy. That's absurd.
Yeah. So there was actually
3.
3 different shootings
That is crazy.
in the same place at the same time.
That is stop. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't. Why? This is like. Am I just like one of those people who just cares about people more than law and government? Because this is another moment where I feel like, do they just not care? Like, does the media not care too? Because like, I don't care how many people were killed in Las Vegas. There's still people who died over there too. So like, why wasn't that ever reported? Why don't we know that dude's name or those 2 dudes' names or
That's
women, whatever?
one of the things where the media's fucked up.
Yeah.
It just is. It all goes back to the fact that this country as a system is screwed, and nothing's going to change until something drastic changes.
But what is that drastic thing? Like,
Go back to a monarchy.
Like me?
No.
Like, shut up, George. Like, in my head, these things are those drastic things that should change it.
That's
You have to remember how many people we have in this country.
Yeah.
But
So what I'm trying to say, so the healthcare system is completely screwed.
oh,
The way our Congress is set up
yeah,
is completely fucked.
yeah,
The foster program for kids getting
It's
taken away from their parents,
terrible.
it destroys kids.
It's terrible. I mean, granted, their parents probably destroyed them too, but like the idea, I see what you're saying.
But
it's
it
like
doesn't help.
The
It
system
just makes
doesn't
things
work.
worse.
Yeah, the system doesn't work.
Every system that we have in place is just
It's
making
broken.
things worse at this point.
And the education system's screwed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public education is fucked. Like, we had the privilege to go to a really nice school that did a...
But they still screwed it up
They did.
because they're so worried about their own academic look and like numbers. They didn't give you all the options, which is to me still a fuck up. Like you're still a terrible system for that.
Yeah. But they're much better than
Education, like
IPS.
academic wise and like college pushing. Yeah, they're the best school in our state, damn near. But it's a broken system.
Yeah.
It's just like that's something scary that we never like. I don't think people fully realize is that almost every system we have is completely broken.
It's like I got the information for my health insurance through my new job.
Yeah.
Just for me, it would be $40 a week because I get paid weekly.
Yeah.
So it'd be $160 a month.
There you go.
But for the year, I have I think it's a $5,000 deductible. So the first $5,000 of my medical expenses has to come out of my pocket.
That's crazy.
Yeah. If I had a kid and I added Katie and a kid, it'd be $220 a week.
That's absurd, bro.
That's almost $1,000 a month.
Plus the deductible?
Plus a $10,000 deductible.
Oh, fuck.
That's terrible.
So in 1 year, I could spend almost $22,000
Unless
before like they help cover.
And let's be real, a kid, there's not a lot of things you can stop a kid from getting injured from. Like, you're going to go to the hospital when you have a kid.
But that's the thing. Like, how many, like...
And not to mention, like,
22,000...
Like...
Yeah.
If you look at, like, the wages, most people, $22,000...
That's a lot
is
of money.
half of the money they make in a year.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. One of the guys I used to work with, he's older. He's about to retire. For him and his wife, he's paying $1,800 a month for insurance.
That's crazy.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's a broken system.
There was a tweet I saw. This goes back to that whole rights thing.
Don't ever say rights in air quotes for the love of God. I know.
I'm just saying that you're making me mad with that. Anyway, just because you know how to press my buttons. That's all I'm saying. Like there's not no.
Because I'm bringing up rights.
No, because you're making it seem like it's not something that needs to be worried about, and it's not something that's important.
We have to look. Just go. Just
Okay.
go.
But basically, there was a tweet I saw. I don't remember who it was. It got retweeted a bunch. It's like the celebrity tweeted, I think, or some political person. I don't know. But I don't know. The lady, I had no idea who she was. But it just popped in my timeline, and it literally was like, so it's this dude's right to buy a gun, but a privilege to get cared for after he shoots you with it.
I saw that image.
I shared that image on Facebook.
Did you?
Yeah.
That ridiculous.
Oh.
That's the definition of a broken system.
So, and this is Ben Shapiro, a well-respected member of the conservative movement. His reason why it shouldn't be a right, because that would make doctors indentured servants.
Listen, I want to point out that if you're a doctor, you take an oath that says you're going to. I don't know what the exact oath is, but you're going to make sure.
Essentially, do no harm.
Yeah, exactly. Guess what? That means you basically have to take care of people. That's your job. An indentured servant. Granted, it's a different level of class.
Getting
but
paid,
like,
you have general freedom.
exactly.
You can quit being a doctor at some point. You're not a slave.
Exactly.
Chill.
Like, it's not the same thing at all. You chose this path in life because that's what you wanted to do. An indentured servant most of the time doesn't get to make that choice. Like,
let's not lie to ourselves. Indentured servant is very much a synonym for slave.
Oh, most definitely. I could go on days about that too, but that's in front of that podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I guess, like, I won't put rights in air quotes this time, but it's one of those things. Again, it's like, is the rights really more important than someone's life? Like, if you were faced with a decision, like, you can say whatever you want before people have to die for it, is that worth it?
What do you mean? Hold up. So are you saying that if your speech is causing people to
it's just, okay, fine. If any of your rights, would you rather take any of your rights over someone watching or having 4 people killed because you took those rights?
Okay. Depends. It really does, because there's a million other ways you could solve certain problems.
But what is that, in that situation, what is it like?
Okay, what's the right?
Any of them. Choose any of them. I don't care which one it is.
Freedom of speech. How's that going to kill somebody?
It's not that.
That's not what he's saying, George.
Okay, so
he's saying you have the option. It's either you can have your rights or these 4 people are going to die. What would your choice be?
My rights.
You're a madman.
No.
You're what's wrong with society.
No.
Yes.
It's okay. The problem with that is it's one of those situations where you're being forced to pick the lesser of the 2 evils.
Exactly. So you always choose. Like,
let's say
you have to save those people. Like, I don't care.
Here's the situation. You're on a bus, a runaway bus, with 20 people on it. Your options are you either let everybody die or you throw one person off in that action, throwing one person off, you'll save everybody else. Which would you choose?
Me, personally, greater good, man.
But what gives you the right
I'd
choose?
Honestly, I'd make it choose me. I'd be like, if I could save these 20 people, why not?
It's not. You don't have that other option.
But he just said one person. Doesn't matter which person it is.
You had to throw one person off.
I honestly probably couldn't do it. I'd have to let everyone decide to do it because that's. But I see what you're trying. I see what you're saying, but like it's still there's like a different thing to that.
Yeah.
Like
it's just one of those things where like
it's a tough decision.
There's no right answer.
It is a tough decision, but
also, what rights am I giving up? My freedom of speech?
All of them.
I said choose any of them.
Freedom of speech? Literally any of them. My rights are very important. The rights are very important.
The problem is, Brandon, with that is the rights that we have are what make us the USA.
But again, our system's so
it's
broken that it's like, how important are those rights really when it comes down to it? Someone's life.
Because they do. Yeah, it's broken.
That's all I'm trying to say, George. Is like I don't care what a piece of paper says. If I have to choose between some words that some white dude wrote back in the 1700s, I'm going to choose the other person's life. Every time. Like, every single time. Because that person's life is more important than some words some person wrote back in the day that I give value. Not that it doesn't give its own value. We give it value. We're the reason that those rights exist. They didn't just magically appear, and it's not like a natural law. The reason that they exist is because we give it power. The same way money works. So if I could choose to take that power away from that right, from that word, that law, and save that person's life, I'll do it every single time, man. That's all I'm asking is this.
There's a very big difference on what rights we're talking about. My freedom of speech and my freedom to own guns, they're very different things.
Fine.
If I had to give up guns to save 4 people, yeah. Are there other solutions? Yes. But if that was the case, then yes, I would. My freedom of speech is a totally different thing. My freedom of consciousness is a totally different thing.
I just said pick one. I mean, I just said freedom of speech.
That's a fucking vague subject, man. Don't fucking.
No, it's not.
My right to do what?
Anything.
Exactly. Fucking any
I
of
don't
my
know.
rights.
Just choose one of the rights in the Bill of Rights.
Fine then. Fuck my right to drive a car. There you fucking
That's
go.
not. Okay.
I'll give
That's
that fucking one up.
not
Asshole.
It's not a right.
Oh, my privilege. Fucking
That's not a right. I just don't understand why you can why your speech is that important to you. Why do you give that right so much power?
Because no one's gonna tell me what I have to say.
I'm gonna ask you something right now. If there wasn't a law that specifically said that you can't say whatever you want, but there wasn't a law that said you can't say whatever you want, what's the problem? If you just take away the law and then don't put a one in to counteract, to say the opposite, you can still do whatever you want. That's why I'm saying we give those laws power. We make them what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you had to give one up, you could literally, you could still say whatever you wanted, but you still let 4 people die. The laws mean nothing unless we make it mean something.
You could say that a little bit about everything.
I know.
Even the human life.
That's the biggest problem with what you're doing. But at the same time, it's like the biggest plus to what you're trying to do. The problem is that you're at an impasse where it does.
You're too vague. In my mind, at least. From what I'm understanding, you're too vague. What rights am I giving up? Fucking.
Why are you making it that specific? I'm just saying,
You could have just made it easier and said all of them, Brandon.
Because it's not about all of them. It's just about the ones that cause people to lose their life over. That's all I'm talking about. I just don't understand. I'm okay. I'm legitimately asking you this right now.
Yeah.
Why is your freedom of speech so important to you that if the law was taken away, you would let 4 people die instead of doing that?
Instead of not being able to say what I want,
Yeah.
without fear of persecution, without fear of some guy with a fucking billy club coming around banging me on the head.
I'm talking about in this day and age. I'm not talking about
this day and age. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't think people are a little bit crazy in this day and age?
It's because that's how Hitler happens.
Yeah. No, the ability.
That's not how Hitler happens.
Once again,
No, that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it happened. The ability to speak your truth, and this is a Jordan Peterson quote. The ability to speak your truth is the bulwark against hell.
I mean, I didn't say you can't speak your truth. I'm just saying that right was taken away.
Yeah. What the fuck? Oh my God.
You broke George.
I know I did.
Shut up. Fucking mother. Change the fucking subject. You can't say whatever you want, but you don't have freedom.
I'm not saying you
What
don't
you
have
say?
freedom of speech, but I'm just saying it's not a law.
Okay, so great. I can't say whatever I want because some asshole.
Why
with
do you give
fucking
the laws that much power?
Because they matter.
You make it matter. You're the one who makes it matter.
Okay, go out, kill someone, then fucking go look at the officer and be like, it doesn't fucking matter.
That's totally different.
I'm sure.
That's
Shut
a law.
up, crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, moron.
You know what's the difference between murder and freedom of speech?
What?
Is that murder isn't human instinct at all. You're not born with the idea to let's go kill somebody. I'm just saying you don't need to give the rights, the freedom of speech rights, much power.
They do matter. They don't matter. We could say the same thing about money.
Money shouldn't matter that much.
Okay,
You guys are really bad at this.
you're just literally you could say that about anything. This laptop doesn't matter that much. Just fucking smash it. That mirror doesn't matter that much. Smash it.
That's different.
Things
George.
do have value.
That's different.
This is why I don't like hypothetical situations because
you
they're
can't
not
wrap your
based in
simple mind
reality.
around it.
No, because they're not based in reality.
You get so angry.
Yes, because you're sitting there like you're too vague. It's like, well, are you gonna give up all your rights? Well, I don't want to give up my rights. You're an asshole. Fuck you.
I'm just more baffled that you let 4 people die over the right to say "fuck you."
Yeah.
That's absurd. That's literally absurd. I don't like you anymore.
I don't care.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Jordy.
I love you too.
I think the biggest issue we're having here is they're called rights, but they're not there to give you the right. They're there to protect you from being told that you can't do something.
But that's not reality.
Well, no, that's why they're there.
I mean, but that's not how they're used.
They're there.
That's not how they're interpreted. But I see what you're saying. But
That's how they actually are, and that's how they're written. That's how they're supposed to be read.
they're supposed to be used that way. Yeah.
But we call them the rights because it's something that you should be able to do without somebody else telling you can't.
And George, I'll give you this: the fact that there are rights is a problem Because I'm saying like the freedom of speech, like there shouldn't be a law that says, oh, you're allowed to say whatever you want to say. You should just be able to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, what does that say about the world at the time where that was revolutionary? And by the way, we could go back to that very easily.
No, we couldn't.
Absolutely. Oh.
No, like we just said, that's exactly how Hitler came to power. Is he took away those basic human things.
The difference
Not
is
Hitler, Stalin.
The difference is Hitler.
They're
the same person. Shut up.
No,
They're not literally
the same.
They're not the same person, but they're in the same. They're in the same like evil column.
Kind of different, but yeah. Go ahead.
Why does he make everything so specific? God.
Because you make everything too generic.
Like it's just the idea that they're both evil people. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay.
Anyway, it's like, God, now you made me forget what I was gonna say because you just get so mad about everything.
Okay, let's just go communist dictator. Start by taking away.
I don't even know where this conversation was going anymore
wait,
because you just started yelling because I said, "Oh, they're basically the same person." I know they're not the same person, George.
I know, but
God, you make everything so specific.
they
Follow the
represented such
conversation.
different things.
No, they did different things. Yes, but
No, they represented such different things.
I know. But I'm saying they're both evil people.
Yes.
Oh.
Fucking.
Okay, we need to go because I'm about to deck this dude so hard.
What time are we at?
A long one.
God.
Okay.
I can't stand you.
Okay, let's go back to something we both agree on.
Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up by saying, what? Go ahead. What were you gonna say? Go ahead. You know what? Go.
I was gonna say that Ralphie May is passed. And
Oh
I'm
my
really
God.
sad about that. Those of you who don't know, Ralphie May was a stand-up comedian. Those of you who don't know, I love stand-up comedy. I really do. And Ralphie May was just a great comedian. He was an awesome person, and he passed recently at 45 of a heart attack. If you know what Ralphie May looks like, that does not surprise you at all.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could give less of a fuck about Ralphie May right now because you got me so mad. But I respect it. R.I.P. Ralphie May because I liked him too. Anyway, to wrap this all up, besides the bickering that me and George do constantly and his stupidity.
Fuck off.
And my stupidity too. It's okay, Georgie.
I'll share stupidity.
There we go. What happened is a tragedy, and we need to find a way. Well, it doesn't have to, like, obviously it's not going to be overnight, but we need to find a way to address this as a country and find a way to make our broken system work. Just to start that process and start moving that cog in the wheel of life, I guess you would call it. That was really like cheesy and gay. Ugh. Anyway, but I want to commend all the people that actually did help other people instead of just run. Granted, if you ran, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's something to be said about people who have the ability to push away their own self-preservation and to help other people who are in danger. And I know a lot of our armed forces who were, I guess not what's on leave?
Present.
Leave. Yeah, they were just present. I don't know what their situation is, but they were there helping people, and I think it's great that we can have those kind of people in the mix of our society who know that when something dangerous is about to happen, it can react to it in a quick manner. But then also, we want to send I know the three of us, I'm just going to say this, but we want to send our condolences out to all the families and people who were there and all that stuff that we're sorry that happened to you in this supposed to be great country.
All those people that were affected.
Yeah. Again, it's a tragedy that it's a fact of life that we live in. Hopefully this moment does raise awareness to all these different problems we're having and that they can eventually be fixed. Also, on a more of our own podcast note, I'm going to say this out loud because me and Phil were talking about something the other day, and it's very important that I feel like we discuss this. I know we're like running really long on time, but it's important. We were talking, and we kind of always understood this, but we feel like our I guess you could call it age group and generation, feel like our voice isn't heard enough, and that we feel like our voice doesn't matter to those people up in Congress, and that we can't make things change and we can't do all these things. I think this podcast, and we want to stress the fact that we can do that. That it just takes us getting to understand how these things work and stop pushing it away and stop not wanting to be involved with it and get involved with it and have your voice be heard, whether that be you start your own podcast or you put all your opinions out on Twitter or you start, doing things in your community, whatever the what. As I guess you can call us millennials. As millennials, we are like, I hate to say, but we're the future of this country, and we're the ones that are going to start this process of change if we want it to happen. So it's something that we need to do and have these conversations and be able to talk to people on the other side of issues about this stuff. So it's very important we do that. there anything else you guys want to say?
I know I've been quoting Jordan Peterson a lot in this podcast, but going to what Brandon said, the purpose of freedom of speech is it allows the combat of words, not of violence. So that way we can talk out our issues instead of actually having to physically fight them. So that way, open up a discussion with someone if you disagree with them politically. Learn the other side. You might learn something.
Don't talk like me and George talk because we just argue with each other because we know
Absolutely
we're not really mad at each other.
They're a great example of how not to do it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we know each other pretty well, so we can do that. But don't follow our example all the way.
Yeah, don't run off and call someone a moron because you disagree with them. That'll close dialogue.
Phil, you got anything?
Just gonna say on that note, like, don't be afraid to go out there, have those conversations with people that everybody's scared to have, because that's the first step to starting to fix the issues we're having, is finding people and trying to, like, understand everybody's walk of life and trying to make it just a better place for everyone.
One more thing. I actually want to close out. Oh, fuck off, asshole. Anyway, Winston Churchill said this about democracy, but I want to say it about America. America is the worst country ever, but it's better than all the rest.
That's low-key true. I respect that madly.
All right.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.